and I don't think I've done one for 2 weeks now. Trying to get back on these things. Just been busy with working on the Durango Hellcat and getting this thing ready to paint. So she's coming along, very very close, but I just can't wait to see it in high build primer. Just because it'll be all one color. It'll look like it's repaired because it's destroyer gray, so it'll look exactly the same. But I can't wait to see it in the green. Should be pretty soon that we get that painted in the green because it just needs a shrink, which I'm going to get a heat lamp and get everything ready to go with you know, typo prime it, sand it out, reprime it one more time, heat lamp it for probably a good couple hours, and then we should be ready to get her all painted. And I can't wait. And then I could get all the interior back in it and out of the way because it's just been taking up a lot of space in the shop. And once all that's in the Durango, I plan on moving the 240Z in the other shop just to get it out of here and make the work on stuff shop a little bit bigger. Plus, I'm gonna have to have a paint booth in here. I'm just gonna get a blow up one, so I'll clear out a spot so I can blow a paint booth so I can paint the Durango and get all that stuff ready to go because I can't wait to be able to drive this thing again. I mean, I can technically drive it right now, but it'll just be nice once everything is back in it and there isn't just a bunch of just junk sitting in the back and wires and modules just laying around. It'll be nice to be able to go take it for like a little rip and everything. But I'm still waiting on the lowering springs. Those should be coming at the end of the month. And I talked to the guy at Black Ops Auto Works, and he is going to have the guy send me the charger wing and then some other piece so I could make a mold for the charger wing, which it seems like shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, I just need to pull a mold at the outside and then pretty much add that piece that they're going to send me. All it does is hold that third brake tail light, which I probably should have just deleted the third brake tail light, and there wouldn't have been such a big deal. But it just, how I made the wing, it was just all one solid piece of Duraglass because I used Duraglass instead of expanding foam, which if I used expanding foam, I could have just melted it all out with some acetone. And then I could have, it would have just been hollow instead of being like 60 pounds of Duraglass. So, but yeah, I can't wait to see the Durango on lowering springs as well, and all the adjustable arms so I can finally get alignment. Let's see. Hello, Dave. What's going on? Are you from Utah? No, I'm from Germany. So, what's up, Dave? Glad to see the project's moving along. Me too. I ordered all the parts for the GTO. I haven't done a video yet, but I have CNC heads for it. If you're on my Instagram or Patreon, I got CNC heads for it and posted pictures. And we should have a really nice sounding GTO, hopefully by the end of the week. The only thing I'm not sure if it's going to come in time is I ordered the ATI damper for it because it was missing the crank pulley anyway. So I was just like, well, instead of getting a factory one, I'll just get an ATI. And I already had an ARP crankshaft pulley bolt for it. So from another build, just laying around. So yeah, I can't wait to throw that all back together, get the GTO driving because that'll be nice. And I have this idea. I've been talking about doing giveaways maybe here and there, but I might do like a Patreon only giveaway on the GTO since I got it for super cheap. And then, somebody can win it because it's a cool car. I know a lot of people like GTOs. I mean, it has a 6-liter LS in it. It'll have a stage 4 Texas speed cam and all the supporting modifications for it, plus CNC heads, plus a built transmission, drive shaft, shop drive shaft. I mean, it'd be pretty cool car for somebody, and it's pretty clean, low miles. Sounds like a great idea, but I'm not sure. We'll have to see. I need to figure out how I'm going to make it work with Patreon to at least break even. I mean, I don't really care about making money. I think I'll have like 8,000 into it after everything's said and done, since I bought it for $3,000, and then all the parts and everything, are pretty expensive. So the CNC heads were $1,600, and all the other parts from Texas Speed was like another $2,000, plus all the gaskets are probably going to be, I don't know, it's probably going to be pretty close. So plus it's still cheaper than you can. Some people are saying that they're like 10 grand. Somebody's like, oh, I just bought one, $10,000. So we'll see what happens. Where do you find your parts for builds looking to build a 2020 Explorer ST? So Ford parts, there's a company, they helped me with my Ford dually. It's Lasco Ford. I think they're in Michigan or something. You can look them up on Google. If you go back to my dually rebuild videos, the link is in the description. So they're pretty good. They'll ship all over the country, and they just shipped me a pallet of everything I needed for my dually, and it was really, really easy. Plus, they sent me the frame, and the frame came in like a week. So, well, that was before all this BS, but they're really quick. So, plus they're in Michigan, and I think they're in Michigan or Wisconsin or something like that. Maybe isn't Wisconsin Michigan? I don't know, but you know, they're up there. So I think they could get parts really easy for Fords. Hello, Dave. What's going on? Dave, I messaged you about those calipers. Be the huge YouTuber and donate them. I'm not donating calipers to you, man. I mean, if you can't afford to build, it's probably best you don't build hellcats or SRTs because they're expensive. Hey Dave, just curious why you decided on the green. So my friend Chris suggested the idea of the striker green. He showed me some pictures, and I was like, that's a cool color. But I wanted to just keep it the Destroyer gray. It would have been a lot easier to just, you know, paint one side of the Durango, and, you know, I wouldn't have to paint the side skirts. I wouldn't have to paint some doors. I wouldn't have to paint a bunch of stuff. But then I went to Sherwin-Williams, and they weren't going to have toner to make Destroyer gray for like 6 to 8 months or something crazy like that. And I was like, yeah, just, can you make this color? I told them the green. They're like, yeah. It was like 5 times as much, you know, to buy the paint. I was like, just make it. So I have it on hand, and when I have the Durango ready, I can just spray it. So I got the green and all the clear and all the materials that I need to paint it, except for seam sealer and expanding foam, because I've been using a lot of that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to look really good in the green. It's going to be really bright, but I think it's going to look really good. So, you know, I'm still not sure what I'm going to do about the roof. I'm going to paint it green, but if it's too much green, I'm probably going to end up just wrapping it in something like carbon fiber, or maybe a Confederate flag or something. I don't know. Pissing people off. I'll wait for these replies. Oh shit. Read the screen, man. I don't know what that means. Durango's gonna be sick. Can't wait. Thanks. Man, can't wait to see the Magnum done. Me too. I just so I'm working with Send Cut Send. They're sending me all of the cut stuff for the suspension pickup points for the Charger. And I just got last night the tubing. So everybody in Colorado, probably not in Colorado, but everybody that I called in Colorado was out of this Dom 1.5 inch tubing. So they're on eBay, which I probably should be getting, you know, some stuff from eBay for shouting them out. But yeah, got the stuff that I need for the front subframe, and she'll be really close. I'll have to make one more order from Send Cut Send, because I just have this front tab, this front one, this back one, and then I want to bend the other brackets to that piece of metal. So I didn't until I knew exactly where it was going to be. I also have the brackets coming for the diff mounting, which will be nice. And then I'll have to figure out the steering rack and the front sway bar. Oh, and also they are sending me all the rest of the tabs for the engine mounts. So that should be, it should be getting close. It's been a lot of figuring stuff out. So it will be getting pretty close, and hopefully we have rolling on some custom subframes and suspension. How you doing? Not too bad. I'm just been working. I mean, this has been a lot of sanding today. The Durango, I need to paint the 240Z because the roof on the Durango is like as much metal is on all of the 240Z to sand. So I need to start working some smaller cars like the Pulsar GTIR, 240Z, 240SX. I mean, JDM cars, they're so tiny. And I haven't even done the doors or anything. I only have to bodywork one door, which is nice, but the rest will just, you know, be scuffed and shot, but it's still a lot of stuff to scuff. So I just need somebody to come over here and help me scuff stuff, which would be nice. How will you program the electric Tesla motor? So AEM's supposed to be coming out with a board to control the sport drive units soon, hopefully. I mean, they told me it was going to be at the beginning of this year, and they're still working on it. So hopefully it's soon. But I'm still waiting on the Terminator X for the Grand Prix. So the Grand Prix doesn't even drive anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So once the Terminator X comes, I can put that in there, drive it around, then turbo it, then put the Tesla drive unit in there. And I have a plan for the Durango as well. So once I pull the drivetrain out of the Durango, which I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do or not, because a lot of built engines have been coming up for really cheap. I saw one for like $13,000, like a 1700 horsepower 426. It was on Facebook Marketplace, but I was really close to buying that. But I really don't want to send somebody money because there's so much sketchy stuff with SRT stuff. I'd rather just go drive down. It was in, I think, Tennessee or something. Drive down and pick it up, which I'm glad I didn't do because it was all crazy and snowy. So I really want to see the Magnum done too. Me too. Yeah, it's been a long road, but I should have just made it rear wheel drive. If I would have made it rear wheel drive, I would have been driving this thing for like a year and a half now. It was painted before the beginning. I think the whole car was painted, not buffed, before the beginning of last year. So I could have been cruising around this whole time. How did you crash your S2000? I've never had an S2000. And I've never crashed. I don't think I've ever wrecked a car other than this one guy ran a stop sign and T-boned me in my 240SX. So technically I didn't wreck the car. He like T-boned me, but I don't think have I ever wrecked a car? Other than like minor things, I don't think I've ever totaled the car, which is nice, especially with all the crazy shit I used to do as a kid. But let's see. Are you going to put the Durango engine in the Charger? So that was the original idea, but also the original idea was to, technically the reason I bought the Durango was to have all the wiring and everything. But I don't know. I kind of like the Durango, so we'll see. It's I might just put a, the original plan was to put a built engine in the Charger, and I'll probably just end up doing that still. So, and I have that two core transmissions from SRTs, so I could just build one of those. I also have a 2006 Magnum Inferno Red. Someone hit my Magnum while it was parked and need to get the bumper fixed and repainted. Get the paint directly from a Mopar car dealership. Your suggestions. I don't think you can get paint from a dealership, but I would just, Sherwin-Williams has really good paint. I mean, that's all I've ever used. I don't know. It works great. I don't have any issues with it fading, paint matching stuff. Years and years after I've painted stuff and it's been in the sun, it still matches. So it really doesn't have an issue fading. But I also buy, the paint for the Durango without my discount. I think it was going to be just the color, just the base was going to be, I think like $2,900 or $3,900. It was something crazy. It's in my video, but it was pretty expensive. So, or let the insurance company handle it. I'd probably let the insurance company handle it if it's just something that is pretty easy and I mean, you don't have a place to paint it. I like painting stuff. I don't care about primering stuff in a booth, but painting something, I like to paint it in a booth because it's just there's just too much stuff that can fall on your paint if you don't have a booth. Let's see. I have a 2013 Durango 3.6. Want to swap to the 392. Do you think it's worth it? I don't know. I'd probably just sell it and get something newer with the 6.4 in it because I think you could get. I've seen a few of them for sale, and I think you could get like an SRT 6.4 Durango for like 50 grand, 40 to 50 grand, and if you get all the stuff to swap your 2013, plus you'll have a newer car. It's not going to have as many miles. It probably won't have as many issues. It won't be swapping a bunch of stuff unless you find one wrecked and you just swap all the stuff over because you're gonna have to swap all the wiring, all the modules, the engine, the transmission, the rear differential, all that stuff has to be swapped. So you're gonna be it's going to be expensive. I'd just buy one unless you can find one that's wrecked or something at the auction because right now you can get them for like 20-ish to 30-ish $1,000 for the 6.4s. How about a Corvair V8 swap? Right now, I really don't want to take any more projects on, even though I do say that. I might look on Facebook Marketplace and buy something, but and I still haven't even done a video. I've had this Supra for like, I've had a Supra for almost a year, I think, and I haven't done a video on it. I have like half a video and it's just been sitting over at my other shop. So I need to finish some stuff and I really just need, and I need to move a bunch of, I'm going to be moving stuff down to the junkyard instead of having stuff over at my other shop. So everything's going to be coming down here instead. So it's going to be interesting. So actually it'll be really nice because I'll have all my cars inside in the other shop and I'll have a bunch of stuff set up. So then I won't have to worry about not having something at this shop and going to my other shop because it's kind of been a pain for the last, 2 years or something, having two shops and having tools at one to work on stuff, but needing tools over here and paint stuff and all that stuff. So I think it'll be a lot nicer to have all this set up and ready to go. I'm from Jamaica, Dave. Love your content. Thanks. I appreciate that. Love your videos. Greetings from Belgium. Thanks. Is automotive expanding foam different from the stuff you get from the home improvement store? Yeah, I think it is. I have a tube of it here because I need to fill some stuff, but it has a lot tighter structure on the foam than the stuff at Home Depot because the stuff at Home Depot has a lot more like holes and air pockets and stuff once once it cures and you cut it in half. But I also really like the fireproof expanding foam from Home Depot because it doesn't light on fire. So the foam that's in these things is so flammable, it's ridiculous. So, but since I didn't take most of it out, there's no reason to not put the same stuff back in because now everything's welded. I don't have to worry about it lighting on fire. It was just sketchy a few times. I let a few things on fire, but I put them out pretty quick. So let's see. Love watching the builds, Dave. Looking forward to seeing how the Durango turns out. Me too. The green is going to be pretty bright. I wish there's a company that makes a wide body kit for the Durango. I really wanted to do it, but I don't really like the front lip that comes with the kit. And they wanted like $5,000 for the kit, which to me, it was like a 3M adhesive to install it. And, I've been down that road. The stuff falls off if you don't actually pop riveted on. I don't know why they don't make the kit so you can like mold it on, or they don't make it because it's all like 3D scanned and I think it's like injection molded plastic. I don't know why they just don't make it so it clips into the factory flare holes, because there's already the holes down the side. So I really don't understand it, but I kind of wanted to get it because it would have been cool, but I wasn't going to spend $5,000 on that kit because it should have just clipped on. If for $5,000, it should have just clipped on, and the front lip didn't look that great. So, yeah, carbon would be, I think green will definitely make a statement. So like, I kind of can't wait because I need to take it to the dealership to do some stuff. I can't wait to be to the point I can do that, but I'm kind of afraid to be to that point because it's going to be like a brand new painted car and I have to take it to the dealership. And I've had bad experiences at the dealership. So hopefully we don't have any more of those experiences, but I need to get the ABS pump module programmed, the airbag module programmed, some other stuff, probably charge the AC system. I'm not exactly sure if I want to put on a chiller before I do that. And there's something else that I need to have the dealership do. I was going to have them do an alignment, but I'll probably just do that myself instead, just so I don't have to worry about it, because they're kind of the Black Ops AutoWorks adjustable arms. They have a bunch of little inserts, and I don't want to have the techs at the dealership trying to figure that stuff out because I feel like it would be too much for them. So, yeah, I think that's it. AC pump, AC module, ABS module, some other stuff. I don't know. Some other stuff has to be programmed. Good evening. What's going on? Hey, Dave, about to start filming on a cheap Walmart camera, put it up on YouTube. My project, build a 1986 Toyota pickup truck dually custom cab I inherited. Cool. I mean, it takes time. I mean, when you post videos, it's gonna be a lot of work, and you're just gonna have to be consistent at it. That's really the only thing to do with, that's the only advice about YouTube. And it's pretty hard when you're doing like custom car stuff to be posting daily videos. I mean, I have tried, and it's pretty much impossible unless you put a bunch of just random stuff in there, which I've also been thinking about doing. So just like everybody else, I should just do it. Good day, Dave. Would you recommend paint stripper or sanding the old paint? Kind of depends. There's a few different ways to get paint off. You can have it, chemically strip paint stripper. They have, depending on how far you want to go, you could get your whole like shell dunked in a solution to strip it, or you could just sand it. It depends what kind of paint's on it. If you have a bunch of just random garbage paint on there, you might as well strip it because it could have issues when you paint your, the newer paint over it. If it's some weird lacquer paint. I know some people have painted cars with lacquer or Rust-Oleum stuff in a can, primer in a can. It could have weird reactions with the good paint that you spray out of a paint gun. So just be careful. You could also have your car blasted, but I wouldn't recommend having it, sandblasted technically, or the dustless blasting doesn't really work on the newer cars or anything that has thinner sheet metal. It warps, just terribly warps it. There is this stuff that you can have it blasted with. It's like these little tiny plastic pellets, like really like almost like sand, but that works very, very well. And I've seen a few 240s blasted like that, and it doesn't warp the panels, which is really nice. So because I don't think it gets hot, because heat and blasting in one spot is what warps panels. So yeah, I'd try that. When will you build the engine for the Charger? Not sure. Probably after she's rolling around on the subframes and suspension, which hopefully is pretty soon. Paint stripper is a pain. Yeah, the other thing about paint stripper is you have to get it all off. When you strip something, and then you want to go over and paint it. If there's any of the residue still on the panel or in the metal, or because there's a lot of different cracks and crevices, if you get paint stripper left in the metal, like behind where I seam sealed it. So let's say like the seam sealer right here, there's that little joint. If there's any of the paint stripper kind of just hiding in that joint, and you re-seam seal over it, and then you paint it, and then it's a really hot day outside, then that paint stripper residue in there will, what's it called? It'll like kind of like vent, or what's that word? Whatever it is, it'll just like vent out, and it'll just bubble the paint from the backside because it's kind of reactivating. So I try to stay away from paint stripper unless it's like the 240Z on the roof, like the big section. Oh, I thought I flipped that around. On the big section on the roof, on the 240Z and on the core panels, I stripped them with paint stripper, but I made sure to stay away from like edges and stuff where the paint stripper could get back there and kind of hide, which I stripped that thing so long ago that I don't think it'll really matter. It's been washed and stuff, which is funny because it's bare metal and it doesn't rust in Colorado. That's why I like it here. But yeah, just be careful with paint stripper. It does work, but you have to make sure that you get it 100% clean and make sure that all the seams and everything are cleaned out, because you'll just be mad when it starts bubbling paint in random spots. Have you pulled the batteries from the Cruise yet? So it's a Volt. The Volt batteries are up there, right there. All the Volt stuff for the Tesla drive units up there, but they're kind of big and you can't really condense them very well. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to end up using them. I might just get like a Tesla pack, because you can pull them apart, and they're the small, like pretty much like double A's, and you can reconfigure them really easily, which I think will work very well, because then I could make something that fits in the Grand Prix really nice, and then I could just make it really compact and stuff, because the Volt batteries, they're like the size of like lead acid batteries, even though they're lithium ion, and you can't reconfigure them. They're pretty much like, I think they're like 44 volts a piece, and they're probably like a couple feet long each. So plus they're like a foot tall and probably like a foot wide, and they're not very easily, you can't really fit them anywhere very easily. So I think a Tesla pack is going to be the best idea. How am I doing today? Good. I wish the Durango was primered today, but it's a little bit too cold. I want to do it outside too, and I have to mask it all off. But besides that, I'm doing pretty good. I can't wait to get this thing ready to go. I love the idea on the all-wheel drive Magnum. It's a great one. It will be a monster, I believe. Yeah, I think it's going to be really, really fast. I mean, a lot of people have been asking me, why haven't I done the all-wheel drive police car, all-wheel drive system? And I'm just like, it's weak. It's small. Everything is not meant to handle that much power. I mean, they barely handle like 600 horse. People put 700 horse at them, and they just blow transfer cases and all kinds of stuff, blow front diffs. It's just something I didn't want to have an issue when I'm running 1,000, 1,500 horsepower on the Charger. So I just wanted it to be reliable, and that's kind of what I like to do with my cars. That's technically why stuff takes so much longer. Plus, I like when I paint something or do body work and stuff like that, I make sure that everything's going to line up and that everything's sanded, because if you don't sand something, or if something doesn't line up right, and then you paint the car and it doesn't fit, then you're screwed. So plus you just waste all that time. Do you have an ultimate dream car or truck? So my ultimate dream car is my 240Z. This right here is my ultimate dream car. I don't know why I don't do anything with it. It's just been sitting. So I need to do something with this thing and get her back together, because that has been like my ultimate car for like ever. I just love how they look. I don't love the engines because I'm going to put the RB30 in it, but they just look really good. They have good lines. They're compact. They're quick. They handle very well, and I don't know. They just look good. So let's see. Great job, Dave. Love watching your work. Thanks. Where did you learn how to work with carbon fibers? So a long time ago, I wanted to make some, what was it? I think it was rear spats. So I took a mold, made some rear spats. Then I made some fiberglass little hood louver thing for a 240, made a few of those. And I never made something as large as the Charger roof out of carbon fiber until I did the Charger roof. So I made a bunch of small stuff first. And I was like, well, I should kind of have the idea, but the roof was huge. So there was a lot of learning how to do the roof because it's so big, but it was kind of the same idea, making the mold, doing all that stuff and vacuum bagging it and stuff like that. So it just, the best thing, how I learned the best is just trial and error, because once you do it, you know it for life. I mean, it's one of those things, like if you read about it, you can forget it, but if you do it, you're going to know how to do it. So when are we going to see a supercar or exotic car build video? They seem to do best for views as well. I don't know. I'm really not like a supercar person. I mean, I've thrown the idea around. I think the closest I would get to a supercar is I've been wanting a Pantera for a long time, and I might get one and do that. But besides that, I mean, I don't know, the like Lamborghinis, and I think if I got anything, it'd probably be a Porsche, but like the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris, I just feel like they're just an overpriced, they're like a Supra. They're pretty much a Camry, but they're overpriced. So I don't know. I want a Supra one day, like a Mark IV. I have a Mark III, but I don't know. I don't see the appeal. I mean, I know the appeal is because they're expensive, and people, if I ever did get a supercar, my ultimate supercar is a Koenigsegg. They make the coolest shit. So everything that they make is just like on the edge of new technology, kind of like Tesla. Tesla's kind of the same way, but Koenigsegg, like Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, all the car manufacturers are just regurgitating a bunch of old BS. Koenigsegg is just like doing crazy stuff. I mean, I've been wanting to do stuff with their free valve stuff for a long time, but they weren't too interested in it. So let's see. Thanks. I appreciate your input. The insurance handle. I'll let the insurance handle it. Just worried about the paint match. Usually body shops paint match stuff good, especially if they're like a larger one. And if they don't do it right and they're a larger body shop, you just tell them that it doesn't match, and then they have to do it, because the insurance, if you don't accept the car. So the one thing people don't understand is when they take their car to a body shop, like a larger one, they can deny the car, and then they have to fix the issues with it. So if it doesn't match, be like, it doesn't match, fix this. I'm not going to accept it. You're not going to get paid from whatever insurance company, and that's your problem. Or if something doesn't line up, something doesn't fit right, if they half-ass something, just deny the car. What are they going to do? They have to fix it. So, and then the insurance company, then they're going to have to pay the longer time on your like rental car and all kinds of stuff if they mess it up. So, they won't mess it up twice. I'll tell you that. Patrick, what's going on for your trip to New Zealand? Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Some British flags. What's going on? Hey, now 2,900 is a bargain compared to the factory stuff laid on the Gen V Vipers. I don't know. I don't know how it actually looks, because actually I have seen a Viper before. I just never really paid attention to the paint. So I don't know how it actually looks, but I've seen videos of how they're supposedly painting the cars, and it looked pretty good. But who knows how it actually is? But hopefully this thing looks great. I mean, if it looks as good as the Charger, everybody knows how my paint looks. It looks really, really good, really smooth, which is really nice because I don't like stuff to look like crap and have bad body work and be wavy and not line up and stuff like that. So hopefully everything works out and we get this thing painted in the next couple weeks. Well, the body painted in the next couple weeks. I need to order a inflatable paint booth. And I'm really happy that I deleted the sunroof. A lot of people were mad. I really did want to do the panoramic roof, but it was going to hang down too low. I wasn't going to enjoy the car as much. And then also it weighed so much. It weighed so much, but I almost had it all fit in there. I just had like one more thing that I had to cut to get everything to fit in there. And I was like, well, if I cut this thing, I have to put the panoramic roof in there. If I don't cut this thing, I could, just put the normal roof in there. I could put the one crossbar in there and just call it a day and not have to make a mold and make a carbon fiber roof, which I kind of did want to make the carbon fiber roof. Everybody knows me. I like carbon fiber stuff and like making cool stuff, but it was, I think it was a good call. It was a lot easier. I could have made a mold of this roof, made a carbon fiber part, but I think, in terms of time and nobody's really going to care if this thing has a carbon fiber roof or if it's done, a month sooner. So can we get a candy paint green stripe on the Durango? I've been really thinking about, so the options for the stripe are no stripe, or I'm going to paint the snakeskin, the Viper ACR snakeskin stripe on it. But the issue is if I don't like the stripe, I can't take it off because it's painted on there. So I thought the snakeskin would be pretty cool. It's pretty simple design. You just pretty much lay down a black base, then, well, technically you lay down the black base, you lay down the mesh, you spray the gray over it, and then you mask everything off, and then I'd probably spray the green. I wouldn't want to paint the green first, I don't think. Yeah, I think I'd paint the green afterwards, which would be really nice. Then it'd be a lot easier to bury and clear that edge, or the edges. But I don't know. I think it'll look good. If I want to put the stripe on there, I could do it out of vinyl. I've also thought, so if everybody knows me and they remember the 240, I have anime bitches on my LS intake on my 240. But I kind of had the idea is I could put anime, like an anime bitches wrap on the Durango. And it'd be kind of cool. So I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna paint it, but it might get anime bitches as like the whole theme of the car, which is funny because it's like a muscle car, or it's a muscle SUV, but I like anime, so. I'm from Colorado Springs. I keep up with your videos. I love the cars as well. Make content with my Charger. I would love to learn from you or even record for you. That's like the one thing that I've been kind of looking for, is somebody to help me film and do stuff like that. But it's, I'm in Pueblo. Most of the people that I know, most of my friends, they have families, they have girlfriends, they have shit to do other than build cars. So yeah, I just pretty much do all my own stuff. So yeah, and I've also thought about like paying a company to do it and come down and record and stuff, but everybody's up in Denver. Same thing goes, I'm at Pueblo. It takes them like 2 hours to drive down here. It just doesn't work because it doesn't seem like anybody down here does that kind of stuff. So I just film for myself, but that'd be cool. I mean, just let me know. DM me on Instagram. Thanks. Let's see. Instead of doing a giveaway, do a trade away for a 3000 GT side piece. Yeah, I know. I want to buy a new one. I wish I could just buy a new one. It's ridiculous. But I'm probably, so I have an okay driver side skirt and I have the other one. And once I get the paint booth, I'll probably paint all the rest of that stuff and just put the car together. Plus, it'll be down here, so which will be really nice. I'll have that down here, the Pulsar, the Supra, everything. Everything's gonna be down here. It's gonna be awesome, and I could just live here too. That'd be great. So, just need to install like a water purifier because the water down here sucks. Are you sticking with the same interior color on the Durango? Yes, I'm going to keep the red seats. I think it's going to look fine. I'm going to keep the red calipers, and I don't think, you know, green and red. I mean, you're not going to see the red seats when the windows are tinted and the doors are closed, and you'll never see. I think it's going to be fine. So, one thing that I do need to do is probably pull the Alcantara black fabric down so I could wrap the non-sunroof headliner in Alcantara, and I'm going to do it myself instead of trying to send it to a upholstery shop, because the last time they couldn't do it. So, and then they wasted a bunch of my Alcantara. When do you think we'll see paint? So I should have this thing, actually I'll have this thing in high build primer this week. I might actually be able to high build primer it twice this week. I'll high build it, sand it in the whole thing in 180, and then re-high build it, and then I'm going to heat lamp it. I need to go get a heat lamp, and once I heat lamp it to make sure everything shrinks correctly, then I'm going to paint the roof first because it's so tall. I don't want to have to worry about getting up there and leaning over the quarter panel, and then you know where that ends. Your paint suit touches the quarter panel, there's clear on it, you're like pissed off, and then you have to redo it. So paint the roof. There's that gutter there. You won't notice the tape line anyway because there's a piece of trim that goes in there. And then once I have the roof painted, I'll paint one quarter panel. Actually, I'll probably paint both the quarter panels at the same time. And then I just need to scuff the side skirts. What else do I need to scuff? I need to paint the front bumper. I have the brand new front bumper back there. I have all the pieces for the front bumper. I need to order another hood. I'm not sure if I'm going to do an aftermarket carbon fiber hood or if I'm going to just get another replacement Durango Hellcat hood and the rear bumper, and put the quarter glasses back in. Then I want to see how fast it is with nothing in it. So we'll do that. Since you're such a Dodge guy, I'm surprised you don't have a sweet Ram to tow your babies. So I had a dually Ram before. It was probably the worst truck I ever had. So the Fords, they're great. I've never had an issue with the Ford. People talked a bunch of stuff about the 6 liters, never had an issue. People talked a bunch of stuff about the 6.4s, never had an issue. And then the 6.7s and the newer trucks are hands down the best diesel engine. I mean, they just rip, and the trannies are good. I mean, you don't blow trannies, you don't blow engines, and you can just put miles and miles and miles on them. Never have to worry about it. Good afternoon. What's going on? Are you going to lower the Durango? So, yes, I have lowering springs coming. I'm just going to put springs on it, and I think it's like 2 inches lower, and I think it'll look really, really good. I've seen a few. I really don't want an SUV. I'm not going to technically ever take it off-roading, but other than that, I think it'll be great. Off-gassing. That's the word I was looking for. Paint stripper, been there. Let's see. Yeah, if we are wanting to use dustless blasting, the ones for glass beads using a 300 psi pressure washer is the largest unit you should use. The industrial trailer units will warp everything. Yes. What are the chances of you doing a Ford ECrate motor project in the next year or two? Um, I've never heard of it, but I mean, I'm up for a lot of different things. Hello from New York City. What's going on? Waiting on your Magnum and Durango builds to finish. Been too long since I lived in Fort Collins. Love the beautiful, beautiful scenic views when you show it. Thanks. I appreciate it. Rich Rebuilds just put out a video of a Mod electric car some guy built. Nice. Tavares just built a Supra. Nice. What are your thoughts on the C Zinger or the C21? I'm not sure what they are. Would you be interested in one of those kit cars, the ones where you put like a turbo Cobalt engine in them, like the Goblin kits? I actually have been thinking of like a kit car for quite some time. They have I think it's Factory 5 makes a couple cool ones that kind of technically look like a supercar, but they're a kit car and they actually look pretty decent. So I've been thinking of doing one of those, but I want to kind of get a bunch of stuff done. I've been wanting to finish the 3000 GT, so I want to get that thing buttoned up. That's pretty close to being painted. There's just a few more pieces that I needed to do and get the Durango done, get the Charger done. The GTO is going to be pretty easy to do. The Grand Prix is pretty easy to do. So there's just a bunch of stuff that I want to finish up. But yeah, technically I do want to do one once I finish some stuff up. What's up from New York? What's going on? Stealth EV from Oceanside, California for your batteries for electric cars. Yep. You said you never cared for the C8s. Does that flat plane crank in the newer ones make it any more interesting to you? Not at the price range. I mean, I don't know. It just kind of looks like a NSX to me. New Mexico love, thanks. I have a BMW X5 I wish you could fix. Needs a bumper and hood. Would love for you to tackle it. Yeah, the issue is like a paint booth. I've been throwing this idea around for probably 2 or 3 years, but I need to get enough people in line to do it. So I want enough subscribers. So I want to do like either a monthly or maybe like a road trip kind of thing, and do a kind of like when I went to California and I met up with a subscriber and helped him try to fix his Mustang, but then he didn't have any money to buy any of the parts. I want to kind of do something like that, but I want to do it with, if you have the parts or have the funds to, finish the car and help some subscribers finish their projects, because I know how to do a lot of paint and body work. And, I don't want to go technically have to do a whole paint job by myself or anything like that, or, go and, put an engine in or finish a project, put a tranny in, stuff like that. But they have to, the requirements. So I want to do this year, but the requirements are, and if you have a project, just DM me on Instagram, the requirements, and you have to be in the US, because unless you pay to fly me to your country, but then it's going to be all this BS with all the crap going on. So requirements has to be in the US. You have to have either all the parts. Actually, yeah, you have to have all the parts if I'm going to come out there to fix the car, or the funds to buy whatever parts that we're going to need to finish it, like stuff from O'Reilly or whatever parts store. What else? Have a place to work on it, I guess, and have the tools, because I'm either going to fly in or I'm going to drive something. I'm not going to bring every tool that I have. So I'll probably bring like a Milwaukee impact or something, or a few Milwaukee impacts, but have tools, have a place to work on it, have all the parts, and I don't know. There's going to be some requirements, but those are the three that I can think of. But I've been wanting to do this for like the past 2 or 3 years. So, and last year was just, the last 2 years have been wash, but um, that's kind of what I want to do. If you have a project and have the first 3 requirements, I might have another one, but I haven't thought of it yet. Message me. Plus, you're going to have to be in videos and we're going to record stuff, and it's, I'm going to make a YouTube video of it. So you have to be knowing of that. So, but otherwise, I thought it was a very good idea to kind of offer that, because there's a lot of people that have these projects that don't know how to put cams in engines or time engines or do, the stuff that I know how to do. And I think it'd be kind of cool. Plus maybe they don't have the time and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool to be able to help some subscribers, but also be able to finish up some projects, because I know there's a lot of people that are trying to finish projects, but they just don't have maybe the motivation, because they're kind of like me, but I have a lot of motivation, but they're all by themselves, and kind of breaking away to work on your car when you're all by yourself and you're just like, well, I could do it tomorrow. And then it's like 20 years go by and you're like, fuck, tomorrow was like 20 years ago. So love your attention to detail and the fact you don't cut corners. Thanks. The cars that I build, I'm going to keep them. I like the fact that I could build cars on YouTube and do something that I love, but I don't want to do something that I love, build all these cool cars, and then have them just piles of shit sitting around. I've seen a lot of YouTubers, and I know you can't keep all your cars inside, but they just have like shit sitting outside because they don't care about it, because they just built it for a video quick. And it doesn't really matter because they don't have any pride in it. So it's just one of those things where you're just like, well, I could build this Durango. I could have built this Durango and fixed all the stuff on it half-assed in a weekend, and it would have looked great on video. The great thing about video is everything looks great on it. You could have like the biggest piece of shit on the internet in real life, and it's the biggest piece of shit in real life, but if you put it on the internet in pictures, it looks great. I've seen countless examples of it, and it's just kind of sad, because then people get this expectation, like me. I'm doing all this body work, I'm making sure stuff's straight, making sure body lines line up, and some people that watch my videos understand that. And the charger, they're like, why isn't the charger done? I know it has been a long time, but anybody that has fabricated and designed and engineered something so it works and lasts know that I could have just hacked some stuff together. I could have easily took this subframe, welded the other subframe to it, made it work, made it bolt in the car, made everything fit, but it would have been the jankiest thing on the planet, and nobody would have ever seen it, but it would have worked. And I opted out to make these custom subframes and fixtures and all this crazy stuff. Look at that subframe. Look at that subframe over there. So yeah, that's just how I am. I build the cars for me, so they're good and they're going to last, and I'm not going to have issues with them. The paint's not going to peel off them. They're not going to look like shit in real life. I plan on keeping them. So if you're new to the channel, that's why stuff takes so long. Let's see. What time is it? Oh, I have 9%. I probably should go pretty soon because my battery's going to die. I have a 2002 WRX. Throw my hat in the ring for fixing a car monthly. I have a 2002 WRX too. I need to fix a bunch of stuff on it. Goon Squad has left the chat. What you do is LS is Dodge Charger. What? I'm not sure what that means. How many cars, trucks do you have, and how many are you working on? I have a lot of cars and trucks, and there's a lot of stuff being worked on. Probably like 6 of them are being worked on right now. With your attention to detail, anyone would be lucky to have your work on their car. Thanks. Let's See, why would I want the best body? I don't know if I'm the best body man. I mean, there's a lot of people that are good, probably way better than me, but I try to do the best I can. So, and I think it's pretty good. I mean, I've had compliments from people that do body work for a living. They're like, "Oh shit, you actually know what you're doing." Like, so, you know, I'm probably not the best, but I'm probably up there. So I don't know if I want to say that. I'm probably pretty good. Let's do that. Nice work from Jordan. Thanks. I think you're the smartest person I've ever seen. I'm always thinking this guy knows every freaking thing, almost like Chip Foose, but better. I don't know if I know everything, but I know quite a bit. And if I don't know it, I'll research it before I go and just like do some crazy stuff. Out of all the cars you have, would you consider selling any of them? So how I am is everything that I have is for sale, but it's for sale for a price. And usually that price isn't the price that people want to pay. So it's usually pretty expensive, but it's always worth it. So I don't know. Dave, in your opinion, hybrid cars or 100 electric cars would fully replace current cars in performance and cost? And are you seeing rebuilding them as a profitable possibility? So I think for the long run, 100% electric cars are never going to last, ever. They're hands down. And the next, you know, if they implement all the stuff that they're saying they're going to do, in the next 5 years, they're going to be unimplementing everything, and they're either going to be going 100% all back to gas, or petrol fuel, or whatever you want to call it, or they're going to go hybrid, which I really think hybrid is the best. But the one thing I don't understand is why companies will jump on board like Dodge. I think Dodge is the perfect example of jumping on board before they even have their foot in the door, I guess, in like research terms. So I was talking to the guy at the Dodge thing at SEMA or whatever. He was the head of, I think, the new EV Jeep and the hybrid Jeep. And I was talking to him and I was like, what kind of gas mileage does this get? And he was like, oh, well, the hybrid gas mileage. The hybrid, he's like, gets 20 miles per gallon with an 8-speed PMM in the transmission with a 4-cylinder. I was like, why does this only get 20? So he was getting kind of mad because I'm asking him, why is it not getting better gas mileage? Which it should be, you know, with a 4-cylinder, you could technically run the 4-cylinder on a generator, power the electric motor, run it at a consistent RPM, and get like 50 miles per gallon. But they're getting 20 out of a 4-cylinder gas engine that is not turbo, which they could turbo it, get better gas mileage. But what they should do is they should take like the Durango. They should take the Durango. They should twin turbo it. They should do the same with the Hellcats. Twin turbo the V8 instead of supercharging it. Put that same 8-speed behind that V8. Get like 35 to 45 miles per gallon. Make 1,000 to 1,200 horsepower and have zero lag. Be the fastest thing. That would be the ultimate like electric muscle stuff. But they're going to make some weird electric muscle car like Ford tried with that Mach-E Mustang with 7 electric motors in it, when Tesla can make 1,400 horsepower on 3 electric motors, but they have 7 of them in there. The car probably weighs like 17,000 pounds. And it's just like these companies are just a joke. They're so far behind Tesla, and they like throw this stuff out there. Like they're like, oh, the government is going to implement this stuff. Let's build all this crap. And just like, instead of, oh, we're just going to bite the bullet, we're going to keep making the Hemis and tell the government, you know, fuck you. Like, I don't understand it. I just don't understand companies. Like, that's not their cup of tea, but they're trying to make it. And my phone's about to die. It's on 5%. So I'm going to let all you guys go. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions or have a project you want me to help you on, and we'll figure it out from there. But DM me on Instagram, and we'll figure all that stuff out. And I'm not sure if it'll fly in or drive in, but yeah, DM me on Instagram. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys later. Probably have a video Tuesday of priming the Durango.